Have you ever wondered what is the quickest way to checkmate your enemy king with you only having a rook and a king against your opponent having only a lone king? Well, that is what I'm going to show in today's video. So let's begin. So your first goal is to calculate how many squares your enemy king is away from each border of the board. So here we have the border of the board, and now we can count how many squares the king is away from each side. So the king is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away from the E1. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away from E8. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away from A4, and 3 squares away from H4. So now you get to choose. You want to drive your king into the E1 corner or the H4 corner. You always want to drive your opponent's king. You always want to checkmate your opponent's king in the quickest way possible. And the only way to checkmate with a rook and a king is by driving your opponent into the wall. So first, you want to limit your enemy's king's amount of squares. If you do that if it depends. If you want to push your opponent's king towards the H4 wall, you can play Rook C3. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and play Rook G5. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you drive your king to E1. Well, you're more than welcome to try this on the H4 corner. To the H4 square, it's either way is going to work. So now you play Rook G5. Your king tries to attack it, and you keep this king in this box so that his squares are limited. And you always want to keep your king and rook next to each other as much as you can if the king attacks. Now you play King E4. Now you want to bring your king closer. Now this king has to run away again. You limit the amount of squares with Rook E5. Now after King A4, you play King D4. After King F3, he wants to stay in the center as much as possible. Let's play Rook E4. Now he's in this box. Now if you go King F2, you go Rook E3, and now he gets to choose. You have 3 moves. Either one of them loses. Let's say he plays King to F1. Now I just keep going down. King D3, King F2, and then after King D2. He's forced into either one of these 3 squares. Notice how you made the box even smaller than it was on this move. On this move, this king was in this box. Now the king is in this box. Now the king is in this box. So now this king has 3 squares. If he's ready to quit, he'll just play King F1 and let you mate him at some point. So you drive your opponent's king into the wall, and then after King G1, you don't move your king. You want to move now that your enemy king's on the wall. Now you want to make it in such a way that the rook checks the king, while the king covers the escape squares. So in this position, if we go King G3, we'll go after King F1. You try to protect the rook. King G1, King G3, King F1, and King G3, and King F3. This game will result in a 3-4 repetition draw. So what you should do is, instead of that, you want to play something called a Zugzwang, or waiting move. A waiting move is like a move it's like a purple axis move. So you wait for your opponent's king to do something, which is in this case you move your rook to A2. Just want to do something or the other, and now either way he goes, he's gonna get mated. If you go King H1, then you just go King G3, and after King G1, it's Rook A1 checkmate. Your rook covers all these 3 squares, and your king cleverly covers the second rank. Going back, so he's not going to go into the corner and play King F1. And now, as you remember, king g1, king g3, you don't want to result in the stalemate. So you're still gonna play rook a2, and then now if he decides to run away to e1, now I just chase the king, and now after king b1, you have to move the rook. But now it's not possible to checkmate because you wasted your waiting move. So you always need to have your waiting move done. You can't undo it, which you just did now. You can only do only an odd number of waiting moves will help you checkmate him. See, we have 2 waiting moves now, and now after king c1, you're just chasing the king all over again. And so instead of that, you don't want that. So what you want to do is after he either put king c1, or if he plays king a1, it's a forced mate after rook c2, and then stuff like that. But that's not what we're going into, because even so that results in what you need to learn here. So here you want to play another waiting move. You don't play rook to d2, because after you keep going, now you can play king c1, and it's just the same thing we talked about before. So now you need to play another waiting move, but this time you don't go and you try to avoid going anywhere near the black king, and because you have a rook, that's going to be very easy. So what you're going to do now is either go king c1 or king a1. Now, because you did your waiting move, either way fails. If king c1, then rook g1 is an immediate checkmate. So that's why he's going to go king a1, but it's still the same thing. Here you cannot go rook g1 because a2 is still free for the king. Going back, instead you're going to go king b3, forcing the opposition, and then you play rook g1, which is another checkmate. So there you have it, the beauty of the rook checkmate, and I hope you like the video, and please like and share, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. I'll be covering the checkmate with the queen after this, and then maybe that will be of a use to you. If it is, please say in the comment section below, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. One more thing, I recently found out how to fix the comment section, so you should be able to see it now. And thank you all. I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Bye-bye.